You know, after World War I, there was a huge demand for wheat, and because of a lot of government policies, a lot of people moved out to the Midwest to start farming, and lo and behold, farming became a huge deal, and the fields and the prairies were plowed in excess. Millions of acres were turned into farms, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But the point of my story here is that in 1930 and all the way up till about 1940, the Great American Dust Bowl was a reality. And according to what I have read, it is estimated that over 3 million tons of valuable topsoil just blew away and just caused, just total annihilation of the farmlands. And it was basically because people didn't understand the importance of the value of the topsoil, the value of the roots, the grasses, everything that kept the prairies intact for millennia. We suddenly changed everything and it all went to hell. So the point of my story is that I believe that we are now into a new type of a dust bowl. We have an urban dust bowl. And because of the drought, a lot of people are cutting back on their watering. But they still want their yards tidy, so they have these gardeners that are coming in, and the lawns are, for the most part, dead. There's very few. I think there's only about 10% of the lawns in our area are still green and alive. Some people have just let them die. Some people have converted them into plastic lawns. But the gardening business is still very active. So the gardeners, they don't have a lot of mowing to do anymore. So they spend their time blowing. And in a way, we've got a new sort of wind condition, which I'm referring to as the urban dust bowl. The gardeners are blowing away all the mulch. They're blowing away all the leaves. They're blowing away everything, keeping everything tidy. Even when people are putting mulch down, the gardeners are blowing it away. So what is this causing? It's because of people's need for tidy. The yards are going to hell. They're just going to hell. The soil is turning into rock hard soil. There is no topsoil left, which means that you have to irrigate even more to keep the plants alive, and it's a vicious circle, and it's all because of ignorance. People think the gardeners know what they're doing. I hate to say this, but I'm guessing that 90% or more of all gardening services don't know what they're doing. They work by rote. They come in and they do a process. They mow, they blow, they might trim a little bit, and then they go. And that's what gardening services have become. Understanding the needs of the yard are very much a lost art. So what we need to do is we need to change the way we are doing things. We need to stop blowing away all the mulch. We have to bring in more mulch. We have to reestablish what it takes to build topsoil. And that's what I'm talking about when I bring up these videos on mulching. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about a unique type of mulch, which is referred to as gorilla hair. So gorilla hair, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's go check it out. Let's talk about gorilla hair. What is gorilla hair? Well, it's basically shredded bark from the redwood industry, and it's used as a mulch. And when it's put on fresh, it's fairly attractive. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, first off, the benefits of mulch are twofold. One, it helps minimize evaporation and water loss in the soil. That's important, and the gorilla hair does a reasonable job of that. But almost more importantly is mulch. Mulch is different than compost. Mulch sits on top of the soil, and mulch breaks down. It's organic matter. It's leaves, it's wood, it's bark, it's anything that's going to eventually decompose. Now here's one of the ugly things about redwood bark. Redwood bark is intended to protect the tree, and it is antifungal in nature, so it doesn't degrade. And a lot of people say, well, that's good. Well, it's good because it lasts longer, like tan bark in a playground, but it doesn't decompose, so it doesn't do a whole lot to benefit the quality of the soil. So while it does a good job of helping to minimize evaporation, it doesn't do much to improve the quality of the soil. So that's one of the bad parts. Now here's the ugly. The ugly, when you got to work with this stuff, look at all these branches I've got to drag down the hill. What's it going to do? It's going to create a spot like that, where everything's going to go down the hill. Now when it rains, this stuff works its way down the hill. Okay, last but not least, the good. It is a fairly easy top dressing mulch that is fairly easy to cover. It does stick together until the rains come, like I said. It is moderately easy to blow off. You blow off all the top leaves. You can see here I've gone over this with the blower and it looks pretty consistent, but the leaves are a different color. They're much, much lighter. So having that beautiful consistency of color only lasts for about a couple of minutes before the leaves fall on it. But here you can see they put mulch on the edges of this, and it's fallen off and gone down the hill. It doesn't really hold up really well. I'm not a big advocate of using this type of mulch. Some people really love it. Landscapers really love it because it gives it a finished look relatively fast. So it's up to you. If you want to improve the quality of your soil, which is so important, if you want to improve the quality of your plants, which need good soil, that's another reason to think about a different type of mulch. It's all up to you. I mean, it's your yard. You do with it what you want, but if you ask my professional opinion, it's not my favorite. So the final question here is, what is the best type of mulch to put on? Well, if you're going to buy a commercial mulch, I usually recommend you buy something that's just called compost. It's already got some nitrogen in it, and it works its way into the soil. It sits on top, but it's just shredded wood chips. I like wood chips. You can get them for free. But the best kind of mulch is what the trees drop naturally. Well, this is the part of the program where I always say, please subscribe, hit the like button if you like it, and leave me some comments. I love answering the comments. Thanks a lot.